Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Sadashiva Shamarambam, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Paryandam, Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sakana Vavadu, Sakana Upanaktu, Sakaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvina Vadidamastuma Vatvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So in the Isavasya Upanishad proper, the Shanti Pada is what I just recited. We've gone through this in the last session. We quickly recap that because this Shanti Pada sets the core of the Isavasya Upanishad. In fact, this is the core of the Vedanta. We will try to put the context so that when we go to the verses, we know how they relate to each other. Purnamataha Purnamitam. Purnam is that which is complete. Right now, it is only sitting in our intellectual plane. We don't really experience that Purnam in our life. That's the reason why we are never completely satisfied. We always crave for something else because the completion is not there. So intellectually, at least, we can understand, appreciate, abide by the Vedas, which says, Adaha Purnam. That God, that Paramatma is Purnam, infinite, complete. So we just take it. Then it comes the next second statement, Purnam Idam. Idam means everything else. This. See, if you want to know everything, the Sarvagyan is who knows three things. That's it. Only if you know three things, you know everything. What are the three things? Ishvara, who is God? Jagat, what is this world? And Jivan, Aham, who am I? Because what do I deal with? I deal with the world, deal with me, try to deal with the God. Nothing else I do. Nothing else you do. So if you need to know everything in this world, you only need to know about three things. Very simply put, right? But Ishvara, we have no choice but to learn from the Vedas. There is no language, no teaching, no science that tells you who is God. So we go by the Veda. Jagat, I think I know it because there is a physics, chemistry, metallurgy, biology, zoology, astronomy, cosmology, quantum physics. Indefinite sciences are there. I tried to find the Jagat. I can't really find it. I can't really find it to the Purnam. It's always Apurnam. When I go to the cosmology, it keeps on expanding it. My knowledge is Apurnam. When I go to microcosm into quantum level, it becomes so small, I can't see it, Apurnam. So the Jagat, I can't learn from anything outside. Therefore, I need to go back to what? To Vedas. Tell me about the Jagat. Then the third one, about myself. That I know. Nobody teaches about myself. Everybody talks about my body, even to my mind. But I am beyond my body and mind. Nobody teaches. Therefore, to learn about myself, where do I have to go? Vedas again. You see, even though Vedas are very remote to us, none of us gone through the Vedic schools, None of them practice the Veda Dhyanam, none of them learn the Vedas properly. But when you think of it, the most important language, knowledge that we need to have comes from the Vedas. If that is incomplete in me, this world, Jagat, the Jivan, myself, it's called Idam. Here it says Purnam Idam. Ishvara is Purnam. I accept it. How come the Jagat is Purnam? How come I am the Purnam? Yes, you are Purnam. But I appear to be incomplete because Purnat Purnam Udachyate. From the infinite Purnam of Ishvara, this Purnam of the Jagat and the Jiva manifested. If something comes out of the Purnam, it has to be Purnam. It cannot be a Purnam. If something comes out of the gold, it has to be gold. Something comes out of the sugar box, it has to be sugar. Therefore, Purnatvam can only be in the Jiva and Jagat, but it is not comprehensible to us. This is the problem. This is the fundamental problem of humanity. But what do? We don't go and say, I do not know this difference, teach me. We don't do that. But we take our own assumption. It's called Viparita Jnanam. What is Viparita Jnanam? Well, I am limited. The world is limited. God is big, I am small. God is the boss, I am a servant. God is everywhere, I am nowhere. God is Anati, I got a beginning and the end. Now this is called Adhyasam, Viparita Jnanam. Now, there are a lot of sciences teaches this Viparita Jnanam. A lot of even Vedic schools teaches Viparita Jnanam. Dvaita Jnanam is Viparita Jnanam in that sense. It tells you are different from the God. But we accept it. Why do we accept it? Even if you take Bhagavan Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna started talking about his remorse about fighting, and he's telling his mate, Krishna, oh Krishna, this is wrong. You cannot kill anybody. Don't you know? It's adharma, papam. So he gives a whole lot of lectures about sin and virtues. And when you read that, when you listen to that, he makes sense. When Bhagavan came back to him and said, well, you are not this. You are Purnam. Everybody is Purnam. He goes on to many things, Avinashihi, Aprameya, Kudastha, Achintaya, Avigraha. All this is you. He gives the Atma Jnanam to him. Give the Upanishad Saram to him. In chapter 2, from verse 12 to 25. The whole Gita finishes there. Right? Then he realized, well, Vijayan Kaunteyan hasn't got the Adhigaratvam to learn this. Upanishad Jnanam requires you to get qualified. I can't go to LSE tomorrow and say, look, I want to do a PhD in quantum economics. They will ask me, okay, what have you done on economics? Nothing. Let's say go back. Go and study first. Get qualified. Go to undergrad. Take everything. So everything has got a qualification. So Arjuna did not have the qualification. Therefore, what Bhagavan says, Bhagavan makes statements which are not so truthful. This is not what I am saying. This is what Kanchi Paramacharya said. Bhagavan, like the mother is telling the child, to feed the medicine, put in a honey and show kinds of stories and inject the medicine to the child. Bhagavan takes the Upanishad Saram. What does he do? First, he gives a Dvaita Jnana. Oh, okay, you are different. God is different, but you have a role to play. Dharma Jnana. Even he says Nastika Jnanam, he says, oh, look, what's the point? There is no life after this. You die, doesn't matter. kill. Oh, you are a king. It's a duty, go and kill. So he gives him all other laukika jnanam, dvaita jnanam, in a way viparita jnanam, because that's what he needed at that time. So he is educating him. So same way here, Purna Mitam, here we are coming to Upanishad, we come to the PhD class. Here there is no spoon feeding. Here it is the truth, the blatant truth on the plate. You see, Upanishads are not granthas or lectures or discourses to teach a systematic Vedanta. No. For that you need to go to the, other granthas, Viveka Chudamani, all kind of granthas which gives you systematic teaching, Tattvabodha. They will give you step by step. Upanishad is not a textbook for learning. It is a revelation of the great Atmajnanis. There is a truth which you have to handle it. So here, therefore, the truth says, you are Purnam. From the Purnam came in. Then he said, if you want to understand this, Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam eva avasishyate. What does it mean? From the Purnam, if I say you are Purnam, from you, if I take the Purnam alone, only Purnam remains, nothing else remains. What does it mean? You took an example of when a wave in the sea, the water is the wave, water is the sea. Therefore, the water is the Atma Tattvam. The sea is Ishvara, the wave is Jiva. The Ishvara and Jiva are nothing but the water. If you take, I cannot go to the wave and say, I take the wave alone. No, wave doesn't come to me. When it comes to me, water comes to me. Water. Where is the wave? Gone. Same way, if I have the capacity to take the ocean, if I take the ocean into me, there won't be any ocean, it will be only water. Therefore, this water in the ocean is the Paramatma. The water in the wave is a Jivatma. The Tattvam, therefore, is Atma Tattvam, is exactly same. That is Purnam. So what is this wave then? The wave is Karyam, in effect. What is an effect? Effect is Karanam pervading with the Nama Rupa Gunam. A golden bangle is different from golden necklace. Why? It's got different form, different name. So what happens to the gold in the golden bangle and golden necklace? It is just a gold. It remains gold. That is Purna. So you cannot take the golden bangle from the golden bangle, the physical golden bangle, without the gold. Because the Nama Rupam is relatively real. It exists as long as the name exists, as long as the form exists. The form can change, name can change. This kind of temporal reality is called Mithya. So don't use the word illusion for Mithya. Mithya is a temporal reality which does not last forever. In Vedanta, Satyam is eternal, Nityam. Therefore, to differentiate from Satyam, we call it Mithya. So what does therefore the Shantipada said to us? Because the Jagat is Purnam, the Jiva is Purnam, the Jiva and Jagat looks Apurnam because it is limited. Limited by what? Nama and Rupa. Therefore, if you are studying this Jiva and Jagat by Nama and Rupa, since Nama and Rupa can be infinite, your study time will be infinite time. You can never complete it. But if I know the Nama Rupam is Nithyatvam, Then therefore what I have to study? Only study the Purnatva. Therefore I can completely ignore the Jiva Jagat thing. Ignore means not you walk away from this. You deal with this, but not with the intention of understanding the changing nature. What's the point of me understanding my hair is glowing gray? Well, it turn gray. It will. My skin will sag. My bone will brittle. My back will hunch. My eyes go blind. I die one day. But all this I is not me. It is the wave that will go away. So that doesn't bother me anymore because I am the Purnatva. Now, this is not sitting with me intellectually. Yes, it is. I think I'm there somewhere. But how do I get it? In Anubhuti. Anubhuti is something nobody can give you except yourself. Even the Guru cannot give you. Guru can only take you to the edge of it. Then your own prayathanam, that means the Atma inside you, the true you, blossoms itself. We can say Ishvara Kadaksham. Fine. If you take Ishvara as something different. But we are now talking here at Vedanta. Ishvara is that Atma. So it's called Atma Sakshatkar. Now, when the Atma Sakshatkar happens to me, what happens to me then after that? I become Sthita Pragyan, Jivan Mukta. Bhagavan says all these things in Gita, but Arjuna, like us, maybe better than us, but he is not an Atma Jnani yet. He'll ask Krishna, okay, how does the Sthita Pragyan look like? He's still looking to find somebody like that somewhere. But Krishna's view is to make you become Sthita Pragyan. Now, to do this, I may have problems because my impediments are there. Then we say Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let the physical impediments, my mental impediments, then external impediments, all that be addressed. So this is what we saw. So this you must keep in mind because this is what going to be the theme for the entire Upanishad. All Upanishad. What is that? Then now we need to take it forward. Idam Purnam. I am Purnam. Because, we are all selfish. We got to be selfish. God is Purnam, fine. But I learned that I am Purnam. I am complete. I am the Atma Swarupam. I am Ananda Swarupam. How am I to realize it? So that question we have. With that, we go into the Isavasya Upanishad. Now, this Upanishad called Isopanishad or Isavasya Upanishad. The name comes because Isavasyam Idam Sarvam is the first mantra. So it got the name from that. You will see what's the meaning of it. But this is a very profound Upanishad. There is an Upanishad called Mukti Upanishad. In that Upanishad, it is portrayed that Sri Ramachandra Murthy is enumerating to Lord Anjaneya the Upanishad he should study, and Isopanishad comes in the first. Also, Isha also means God. So it is the only Upanishad starting with the Isha as the first name. So it comes the first one. And Bhagavan Shankara writes a Bhashyam for this first one. Even though this Upanishad is generally taught after some few simple Upanishad, but we go by the tradition of Shankara Bhashyam, we take this as the first one. Because if this take the Shanti Padam, if you understand the Shanti Padam, at least get excited with the Shanti Padam, and you want to learn more, then that sheer interest will unravel this. Nothing is difficult. Please don't worry. You don't know Sanskrit, doesn't matter. We are not here to learn Sanskrit. We are trying to learn Atma Jnana. Sanskrit happened to be the language for it. I tried to decode where possible. So this one, what we are going to do, we are going to learn, I told the story before, it's a Shukla Yajurvedam. You've got two branches, Yajurvedam, Shukla Yajurvedam, Krishna Yajurvedam. Shukla Yajurvedam, where the Yajnavalkya after outpouring whatever he learned to Vaishambhayana, which becomes a Krishna Yajurvedam, he felt empty. So he went to Vajase, we went to Bhagavan Surya and said, teach me New Yajurveda. So from Bhagavan Surya, from the morning to the noon, he learned this Shukla Yajurveda. So on that, there are two important shagas, branches. Kanva Shaga and Madhyanika Shaga. Shaga means branch. And Kanva Shaga is, of course, the Upanishad is on both. In the last chapter of this is Isavasya Upanishad in the mantra part. You remember, Vedas are Shagas and Shagas got Samhitas, which is mantras, Brahmanas, which are the explanation of mantras largely, and Aranyakas of the contemplation part, Upasana part. And with the end of it comes the Upanishad. Mantras are to be learned, Apurusheya. Brahmanas are mantra prayoga vidhi, how to apply the mantras in yajnas and everything. Aranyaka is to take upasana for nididhyasanam, shravana mananam, and the revelation is Upanishad. But sometimes this part, revelation, also comes in the Samhita part. So Isavasya Upanishad of 18 mantras is forming part of Samhita itself. It's the end of the Samhitas, not the end of the Aranyakas. Because there's a Brihadaranyam is there, the end of the Aranyakas. Brihadaranya Upanishad is the explanation of Isopanishad. Okay, this is all not important, but just put a context. But the important point here is, because it is in the mantra part, many Vedic scholars in those days, even today, take the mantras as the part of the essence of Vedas. Mantras are very important. Mantras gives you all kinds of powers. Powers to live in this world and life after. And how to apply the mantras are in the yajnas and pujas and upasanas. So all this is called a Vaidika karma. Vaidika karma is karmas where these mantras are applied to give laukika and paraloka prapti. Shuka punyas are acquired by this, which all we want, right? That's why we go to the priests and purohits who are the masters of it. They teach us all this. You can see whenever you read Shankara Bhashya and all those esoteric texts, you always see Shankara defense against Vedanta, against this karma kanda. So much so, the later interpreters took the view that Shankara is against the karmas and the karmavada are retained, and there is kind of a debate, intellectual debates. In my very limited view, and what I learned is, no, there is no rejection to it, but there is a purpose, there is a graduation of it. You know, when you come to Upanishads, you cannot go there and sing, you know, London Bridge is falling down, because that's what your kindergarten school. It has no relevance, no relevance there. You learned it all this because you need diction, you need language, you need poetry. So they taught you all the nursery rhymes, multiplication tables. When you come to the PhD, they have no material at all. Or when you climb a ladder, of course, the first step makes you to go to the second step. Second step makes you to go to the third step. So the steps are very important. But if you say, I will not leave the steps, they are so dear to me, they elevate me. If you hold on to it, can you ever rise? You can never rise. So all the karmas are very important. They give you pleasures of life. They give you pleasures in the afterlife. They make you a dharmavan. They make you do punyas. They make you as a good human being. But they will not give you moksha. So therefore, Shankara therefore took this important step. Whenever you do that, see, he wrote the Bhashya. What does Bhashya means? Bhashya means gently a commentary. But it's got a lot of lakshanam to this. Padachedaha, Padartha Yuktihi, Vigraho, Vakya Yojana, Akshebam, Samadhanam, Vyakhyanam. All these are Panchalakshanam. So whoever is writing a Bhashyam should be able to split the words, understand the literal meaning of it, make those into Vigrahavakyam, compound words for it, to compute different meaning. And then Vakya Yojana, from the sentence, see, words can give a meaning, sentence can differ to meaning. Ball, Rama, monkey, hit. Each word has a different meaning. But a Vakya Vritti, Rama hit the monkey with the ball. It's a different meaning. So Vakya Yojana, Akshebam, no, that is not true. This is true. Samadhanam, oh, this is how it is true. So that means a Bhashyakara has to have not only the understanding of this shlokas, mantras, vyakarnams, all this, but Siddhanta Vritti has to be there. The whole purpose of the mantras, the meaning, all should be known. So how can you and I understand this without the Bhashyakara's explanation? Your yutti is, you can bring your own intellectual interpretation for it, but that has no quality against what the Vedas give you. So that's why Shankara wrote the Bhashyams. He wrote the Bhashyam for the Prasthanatrayam. What's the Prasthanatrayam? Prasthana means regal road, Rajaviti. Three things. What is this road? The road leads to the Atmajnanam, Paripurnam. We want to travel on the road. To travel on the road, you need three vehicles. Upanishad, Brahma Sutram, and Bhagavad Gita. Upanishad is what you are learning now, what you are trying to learn. Brahma Sutram is the cryptic way of interpreting the whole Vedasaram by Vyasa. And of course, Bhagavad Gita is Amritam because Bhagavad Gita is called Advaita Amrita Varshini Bhagavati. There's a slogam there enough. Do the Bhagavad Gita Prarthana. Bhagavati means Bhagavad Gita. Advaita Amrita Varshini. It is kind of a nectar of Advaita Jnanam pouring in the Bhagavad Gita. But it is, in a way, you see, in those days, the Veda Dhyanam, Veda thing, or you need to have a lot of qualification for that. Simply, you should have, it's called a Vaidika Karma Niyati. Who can do the Vaidika Karma? You must be Artitva. Artitva means you must have a desire to do it. You must take that, this is my life. I want to do Veda Dhyanam. I want to follow Veda Karmas. I want to do the Veda Pravachanams. Artitva. Then you must have what's called a Dvijitva. Dvijitva means second birth. You really go through this ceremony of Upanayanam. This is not just by birth. Anybody. The Upanayanam is a divine vow. Upanayanam. Nayati means leading. Nayanam means that which leads to. Upa means samipyam, nearby. Near what? Near the truth. So the path that leads you near the truth. Upanayanam. You are it. You do the Trijam. So that means sometimes somebody said in the Maharudra Japam, people are reading without wearing the punal. So it is a papam or something like that. Yeah. But you see, there's a lot of, I don't want to go in there. But the Adhikaratvam is for the Vaidika Karma Niyati. I tell you why they said that. Not only that, if you look at it a little bit more constrained. Dakshitvam. Daksha means Yogyada. What kind of Dakshitvam he needs? He should not be he should not be blind, he should not be deaf. His body should not have any problem. But what it means is that Krishna Kesara, the hair should be dark. That means he must be young. I can't go after 60 years of age to do the Veda Dhyana for the Vaidika Karma Niyati. If I cannot hear, I am deaf, I have no qualification to do the Veda Karmas. It looks cruel, isn't it? Discrimination, isn't it? If you look at it that way, yes. But it is not for that. These people who commit themselves to do this Veda Dhyanam and Veda Karmas, for them and for others, they've taken a very divine societal job. And they carry the obligation of maintaining Veda mantras in a pristine condition. So if I am deaf, if I go to this mantra and I hear something and I say something, I demolish the purity of this thing. So therefore, only the fit person, physically fit, mentally fit, taken a divine vow, can take Vaidika Karma Niyati. So please, when somebody says don't do that because you are not qualified for it, don't take it as a negative discrimination. This is the only reason, because if you go to the place and then you start reciting mantras in a wrong way, somebody listened to that with great interest and they pronounce the wrong way, then the purity is gone. But all this is necessary for Vaidika Karma. But that means, what about Upanishad? What is the point of saying Vedas for humanity? If it is for a particular religion, particular sect, particular practice, particular heritage, how does Bhagavan Ramana or Paramacharya let Paul Brayton from America to go and read Upanishad? Vedanta is not for, they are beyond Vaidika Karma. It is for humanity. It is for Atma Jnana. But it is sequenced such a way because to understand Vedantam, to be qualified to have the Viveka, Vairagya, Shatsampat, Mumukshutvam, to get those kind of mental quality, you have to lead a dharmic life. You must lead a life of virtues. That life can be a cricketer, a banker, a financier, a worker, businessman, a prohit, a Veda Vidya, doesn't matter. For each of you, there is a dharma. If I decided to be an employee of a scientist or a company, I don't need to do Veda Dhyana. That's not my karma. But I follow dharmas. I do that. See, there is a very clear path. It doesn't matter you need to be born in India. Anywhere, you follow dharma, morality. See, don't steal anybody's good. Do I need Veda to tell me? Anybody will tell you. Don't lie. Don't kill animals. If this is what Vedas, then Vedas are not the greatest of books. It's a good book, not the greatest of books. But Vedas do tell those things. But this is not the Vedanta Saram, Veda Saram. This is the entry point to the universal truth. So why I say all this? Because in those days, the Upanishads, when the Brahma Sutra was coded and Shankara started explaining the purpose of Upanishad, following his gurus, Gaudapadas and all this, there's a lot of resistance to it. Buddhists took hold of the Upanishad in a way, but they didn't interpret correctly. So the Purva Mimamsikas, many Buddhas are not somebody else. Many Buddhas are Vaidikas. They did not understand Upanishad context. Why? Because the Vaidika mantras, they use the Upanishad as a ritual mantras. So when they do this, they do Yagyam, Varuna Yagyam, Putra Kameshti Yagam, they play to Indra. Who is Indra? Indra is a divine celestial being with some powers. He's not Parabrahma. But Indra gives you wealth, grace. So when they pray to Indra, they do all the mantras. Once the mantras are finished, Upanishad, somebody will say, then somebody will recite the Upanishad as the Arthavadas. And because when you read that, it does not praise the God. It talks something. Purnatvam, Purnamayam, They think all this is all decorative words for Ishvara. So Upanishads are not given, Upanishads is Maharaja, it's Empress. It is to be worshipped. It is not an instrument for worship. It is not a upati, it's not upakaranam. It is Brahman. So therefore, Shankara has to establish first, before the Upanishad Bhashyam. Of course, because he wrote the Isopanishad, it comes to the Isopanishad Bhashyam, but it applies to all Upanishads. That's the reason why I'm going through this. I don't know whether you have a chance to study other Upanishads, but whichever Upanishad you study, these Bhashyams, plays a role. So what does he do here? He's going to say, this is not for Vaidika Karma. And why he challenges Vaidika Karma? Why? What about my karma, my engineering karma, my management karma? This is also karma. Because I don't do Vaidika Karma. The reason is very simple. If you want to be a world champion of chess, what do? You don't go to your clubhouse and start challenging your neighbors. By the time you challenge all your neighbors, all your countrymen, your life will be ending. If you want to be a world champion, you invite Vishwanatha, someone like that, who's already claiming the world championship. Mike Tyson, if you fight and win him, I'm the world champion of boxing. So when you have to establish the supremacy of your knowledge, you only establish again the biggest of the hierarchy. So in all karmas, Vaidika karmas are the supreme. Therefore, Bhagavan Shankara challenges against the Vaidika karma to establish Upanishad is the supreme. Why Vaidika karma is supreme? Why it is supreme better than my job? Not only my job, I do sevas. I go and do seva. You do seva. Instead of reciting Veda mantras, I go and help people. People sometimes say, why are you reciting Veda mantras? Rather go and help some poor people. It looks very easy, comparably better than that. No, the truth is this. All these karmas that you do in this world is to get a drishta palam in this world. But only in Sanatana Dharma, it is told, you are eternal even as a jiva. You take birth after birth after birth. So whatever action you do, action gives you the results. Agreed, granted. And you do good actions, granted. But if you want to have the guarantee of the next janma to be better than this janma, in a better world, better body, better mind, better conditions, you need to prepay this one with a prepaid card called punya. How do I do the punya? You can do the punya in three ways. You can do punya by tyagam, by giving away your thing, by karma pala. You're doing the Vedic rituals. And third one is, of course, Atmajnana. So it takes you through this path of Vaidika karma to guarantee you prayojanam not only in this world, but the life after. That's why Vaidika karma is supreme. Okay. So this is the context. That's the reason why he come to this Bhashyam. It's only 2 paragraphs, very small paragraphs. First, I thought I'll just give you a couple of sentences pass away, but I think it's worthwhile. I won't give you Padartham right now. My view is to give you the gist of it. Keep it in the mind, because the first verse of Isopanishad, Mahatma Gandhi said, if everything is destroyed in India, in the world, if this first mantra remains, Hinduism will survive. That's what he said. It is such a profound mantra. So it's important, therefore, to give you the understanding of the preface, Avatarika Bhashya. What I'll do, I'll just give you a sentence-wise meaning very quickly. When we finish the Upanishad, then we go back to this Avatarika Bhashya and understand the deeper meaning of it. So I sent you this yesterday text. If you have it, keep it with you, otherwise I'll just walk through this. This is how the Bhagavan writes in the Bhashya. It's a Gatyam. It's basically a prose order. Isavasyam ityadayaha mantraha karmasu avinityaha. Aviniyuktaha. Viniyoga means applied. Aviniyoga means not applied. What is not applied? Isavasyam ityadya. So mantra starting with Isavasyam idyadi. That means the Isavasya Upanishad and other Upanishad. Mantraha, all these in Bhagavachanam, all these mantras. Karmasu aviniyuktaha. They are not supposed to be applied in the Vaidika karmas. Therefore, it's very strange, even today, I can see, even in India, even the great scholars do, they do Kathopanishad Parayanam. Shankara Bhashyam Parayanam. No. Even Bhagavad Gita Parayanam, it's not for Parayanam. You can take Vishnu Sahasranama Parayanam, no problem. Veda Parayanam you can do. Upanishad is for Nididhyasana. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana. This is for Vyakyanam. Bhagavan says very clearly, this is not a book to be worshipped or adored. It's not a prayer book. It is a Vijnana book. You have to read through it, understand it. Kathopanishad, sometimes they study in Shraddham. No, nothing wrong. You can study all the time. It's good. But the purpose is for it to understand the meaning of it. So he says it is not. Bhagavan says, why? Tesham akarma seshasya atmanaha yadatnya prakashakatvat. Isavasya Upanishad and mantras are not for the karmas. Of course, Taittiriya Upanishad they will read because there is some Upanishads tell you to read it. Kathopanishad, Yamadharmaraja tells him, okay, read this at the time of your death. So therefore there's instruction that we can read it. But why we cannot read it? Because these Upanishads throw the effulgence, luster on your Swarupa. What is Atma? It brightens yourself. It illumines you. It brings forth of you. It is Atma Vicharam, Atma Jnanam. It is not something of a karma session. It is not like, when you do the karma, Vaidika karma, do a puja, what you do, you did a water bottle, Panchadodrini, fruits, flowers, and you need to purify all this and use them all. It is not like an instrument for the karma activity. It is not like a Lalita Trishati where each sentence is a praise to the Lord. It's not that. It's not an instrument. It is a Swayam Prakasha instrument. It is bringing you Prakasha. Yadatnyam, Yadatyamcha Atmana Shuddhatva, Apapa Viddhatva, Ekatva, Nityatva, Asariratva, Shabdagadatvati, Vakshamanam. Vakshamanam. What does he say here? This is because Yadatnyam. Yadatnyam means the essence of it. The essence of what? Essence of the Atma. What is it? Shuddhatva. Atma is called Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta. It is not something to be purified. What you do when you do the puja? You bring the flowers and then you take the flowers and then you wash it. Because a little worm would have gone there and spit on it. The fruits you buy, you wash it. Even the patra, puja patra, you wash it. The punar puja, the initial puja, you wash yourself. So nothing is shuddham. You clean it. But Atma is not ashuddham, it is shuddhatvam. Apapa viddhatvam. There is no papam, there is no blemish in the Atma. Avinashiki, Nityastaka, Aprameya. Bhagavan keeps on going in 25, 26 adjectives he gives you for that Swarupa Lakshanam of Atma. So therefore, this is not something that you need to purify like a puja instrument. Ekatva, it is unique, integral. Nityatva, eternally is there. Now, after the puja is finished, Naivedyam is eaten, gone. Flowers become rotten, decayed. The Shabdam of the Kanta stops. The Deepam goes away. Everything has got an end. Atma doesn't end. Nityatva. Ashariritva. Sariritva means bodily. Ashariri means without body. Sarvagatatva, it's all pervading. So please understand, this is about Atma Tattvam. Atma is not to be cleansed anymore. It doesn't need cleansing. It is alone, it's eternal, pure. So this is what it is. It is not an instrument for doing puja. Like he's getting offended because, like when all this puja is finished and the Naivedyam has not come, they will say, okay, can you sing a song? Can you say this mantra, something, some puja? Some upachara mantras we say. That kind of servitude you cannot apply to Upanishad. You cannot say, okay, read the Isopanishad until the Naivedyam comes. No, you cannot do. This is what the Bhagavan says. Because this is itself is Gurutvam, Brahmatvam, Satyam. Tacha karmana vityuta idi yukta eva yesham karmasu aviniyogaga. Now, because if it is all this is, Bhagavan Shankara always completes a sentence in such a way, there is no way you can break into that. So I will not dwell deeper into this, contemplate on it. What he therefore says, because it is all this character of Atma, it is contrary to all your puja padartham, karma instruments. It has nothing to do with karma. Therefore, please don't use it for karma rituals. Nahi evam lakshanam atmanaha yadatmiyam utbhadyam vikaryam abhyam samskaryam kartru bhoktru rupam va yena karmena sheshada syat. Beautiful. Because of this lakshanam of the Atma, pure, eternal, all this, it is not something that can be produced or modified, acquired or purified, samskaryam. All this when you do for the puja, just be produced. Bring this prasadam, modify the prasadam, acquire, purify it, or anything for the matter, any object in this matter, in this world, which is created, modified, acquired, purified. All these rituals are there. You do that because they decay, they get blemished. But Atma is not like this. It's completely pure. Nor it is of character of a doer or experiencer. This is very important. When you do the puja, I am the puja. I am doing the puja. When the puja is finished, you feel happy, punyam, fulfilled. So there is a karta and there is a bhokta. Karta is one who does. Bhokta is the one who experiences it. We say, I am the karta because I am the one doing it. I am the bhokta. Sometimes I am the karta. You could be also a bhokta. I cook, you also eat. You don't cook. I am the karta. You are eating, you are a bhokta. But because I am feeding you, I get punyam. So the punya balam I will experience. I become a bhokta. So the karta bhokta is what we normally, the human beings, are defined as. A doer, experiencer. You do, you experience it. This is normally taken to define this. And when you go further into the final thinking, when you do karma yoga and all that, you say, I'm not a doer. Sankhya do that. Sankhya says agartha. But it puts bhokta as a purusha. If you remember when you do Patanjali Yoga Sastra, when we touched upon this, Sankhya philosophy, which is different from Vedanta philosophy, you got a Purusha and Prakriti. It's the Dvaita Shastram. Purusha and Prakriti both are always there. The Purusha is a bhokta. experiencer. Everything else is experienced. The objects are experienced. Vedanta passes that. No, you are neither the doer nor the experiencer. You are Shivam. You are Chaitanyam, Sakshi Rupam. But what about the experience I get? This sleep experience I had, the sweet I eat experience, the happiness experience. Is that not Atma? No, that is your Jiva. What is Jiva? Jiva is Chitabhasam, your reflecting mirror, Nama Rupam. You know, the little tide that goes there, it carries a little shell, for example. And imagine the little tide has got his own mind. It will say, well, I am decorated with this shelf. I am better than you. The next tide will come behind it. I am bigger than you. It will eat it. This tide that they are having this experience is the experience of water? No, it's the experience of this Nama Rupa. But can the Nama Rupa have experience? Nama Rupa is just mithya. Yes, they can have experience because the experience is a borrowed awareness, borrowed experience, light from the Atma. Like the sun is the Atma, moon is a Jiva. Why I say that? Sun's light is reflecting in the moon. Moon has no light. But if we say moonlight is cool compared to sunlight, but moon has no light. But it is borrowing the light. Same way the mind borrows the Chaitanyam of the Atma, it assumes as if it is illuminating by itself. That's why we think, I do this. What is this? Who is the Atma? It's me, my thought. This ahankaram comes in. This is the ahankaram. Aham bhavam. Aham bhavam. Jiva bhavam. I am this body. I am this mind. Please don't think ahankara means this kind of a rude pride, you know. Not that. Even a very sattvic pride. I am doing it. I am surrendering to you. I am a nice person. Also, even if you do bhakti, if you say, I cannot sing, please you sing. You know, we say, somebody asks, right, can you sing? I say, no, you sing. I sing. I cannot sing. Even that kind of a modest way is a ahambhavam. Ahambhavam doesn't need to be rude. Ahambhavam can be also very timid. But it is a bhavam of jiva is this mirror, little glass. But we have to say those words because how do we communicate? But in reality, the little glass reflection, the sunlight is not its own. It is from the Atma. Does the sun experience anything? The sun feeling the hotness, coolness. The sun nurtures the plant. Is the sun giving the protein and vitamin D to us? Is he giving it to you? No. It is there, everything is there. He's not giving the light to you. He's not rising, he's not setting. Again, please, sun is also a decaying object because we can see it. But it's an example we can take. Because sunlight helps us to see. But who sees sun? Who think that the sun cannot be able to show? Sun cannot show the darkness, can you? No. But we can see darkness. So my Atma's light is bigger than sunlight. The example I take this one. So therefore, when you come to that level of contemplation, I'm not only I'm not akarta, I'm also abhokta. Now, just hold this thought for a minute. If I am not the experiencer, who is that person suffering in me? Oh, I have diabetic, oh, I'm losing money, my daughter is not getting married, my house is not mortgaged well. Who is this person worrying? That's not you. Right? You are Jiva. So if I am not worried about it, then what happened? If everything is good, no, I have a problem. The problem is that my health has to be improved, my mortgage has to be paid, my child has to be got married. I have problems to solve. When you're solving a problem, worry is not a solution. So you have to look for a solution. There's no time for worrying. That is the way you do karmas. You may solve it, you may not solve it. Doesn't matter. But it doesn't affect you. See, now you see, when you understand this, you are not only free from the grief of the world, you have the energy to solve this problem. The problem may not be solved by you for whatever reason. It may be a complex problem. But your approach to the problem is completely free of worries. Therefore, you do your full potential of it. But 9 out of 10 times, when you apply with full potential, you find a solution. This is the essence of life. The Upanishad is not just for moksha somewhere else. Moksha is even living here. Jivan Mukta is, this is why the Jivan Mukta is a so profound concept. Even many other acharyas don't accept it, except Advaita acharyas, because what is that I have to do to become free somewhere in this world, other world? Doesn't interest me at all. I have to be free now, this world. I don't know about the tomorrows. I want to be free here. So that's why the Jivan Mukta concept is there, not the concept. Jivan Mukta as a truth is there in Advaita, that you can be free. When you can be free, if you not only realize, but you become a nishtha that I am neither a karta nor the bhokta. Whereas karmas are not like this. Karmas are to look for intralokas, swargas. Now, Sarvasam Upanishadam Atma Yadatmam Nirupane Yeva Upakshayat. Not only this Upanishad, all Upanishad arrive at the same conclusion. So this is a Mahavakyam. So what it means is that when you take another lesson somewhere and do the Kathopanishad or Mukti Upanishad or Nadabindu Upanishad or Ganesh Upanishad or anything you take, even if they talk about duality and all that, you will see inside the inclusive truth that it's Atma, Atma Jnana. Gitanam, Moksha Sadhananam, cha evam paratvat. Gitanam, Moksha Dharmanam. All the Gitas, not Gitanam, Bhagavachanam, Bhagavad Gita, Ribu Gita, Uddhava Gita. You can take any Gitas, all the Gitas, Smritis, all the Moksha Dharmanam, all the dharmas which gives you moksham. Evam paratvat. This supreme goal. What is the supreme goal? Atma Jnanam. Atma is Purnam. Purnamitam. Because once you know Purnamitam, then Aham Brahmasi comes naturally. Tattvamasi comes naturally. I am complete. I am Purnam. That's the only goal that this is doing. So therefore, when you read the Bhagavad Gita, when you go to the Bhagavad Gita classes, you have two roles to play. When you are as a mumukshu, that you are looking for the Jiva Brahma, Ishvara Aikyam, Vimukti, then you can understand the whole thing in the Atma Jnana percept. But when you are in a Vishada Yogam, like Arjuna, how do I solve this problem of today and tomorrow? Then you go by this Karma Yogam, Bhakti Yogam, Upasana Yogam, this kind of graduated steps where he perfects you. That's why if you read Gita, everything is there. You don't go to Upanishad. It's all there. So here he gives you that. Tasmat Atmanaha Anekva Kartutva Bhoktatvadicha Ashuddhatva Papa Viddatvadi Cha Upadaya Loka Buddhi Siddham Karmani Vijitam. Tasmate. So therefore, the karmas have been prescribed. Then the question that exactly Arjuna asked, when Bhagavan said in the first response to him, look Arjuna, everything is right. Atma can never dry, never be wet, never be killed. You are the Atma. And Arjuna said, okay, Krishna, thank you so much. Forget all these karmas. Let's go straight Jnana Sannyasa Yoga. Let me go Atma Vichara. Then Krishna said, no. You have no qualification for that yet. Taking people like Arjuna and others even lower than this, like him, like us, we are different kind of people with a different mindset. So Loka Buddhi Siddham. So considering all the people, the karmas have been given with manifoldness. You are the doer, you are the experiencer. If you do it, you will experience this. If you want a good experience in life, you do the good karma, because you are the one going to experience it. By saying all this kind of a white lie, this is why Paramacharya said, Krishna gives a not so good truth to Arjuna in 95% of the time, because those not so good truth are essential good lessons in life to teach you. If you do, you experience. So Bhagavan Shankara says here in Upanishad, if you argue like that, the karma is important. This is the purpose of karma, to train you to that thing. Yogi karma palena, arti drishtena, brahma varchasadhina, adhishtena, swargadhina cha, dujatir aham, na kanatva, kunitvadi, anatikara, prayojana, dharmavan, iti atmanam manyate saha, adikriyate, karmasu iti, adhikaratyo vadanti. Okay. What he says is that, therefore, when I do this, I get this one. Because of this prayojanam and the action relationship, you are given drishtapalam and adrishtapalam. Drishtapalam means if I hit you, you're going to hit me back. Drishtapalam, because you're not going to take my beating, you're going to beat me back. So I hit you, I got the prayojanam back. I help you, help me back. I put a seed today and tomorrow I get the plant coming out. Drishtapalam. I do the Vaidika karma, I get Brahma Varchas. Brahma Varchas means the tejas, that effulgence, Please don't therefore look for a light in your face, It's just kind of when you look at the person, you feel calm in your mind. You see happiness with him when you see with him. So anybody who does the Vaidika karma, you do Sandhya Vandanams, you do all the good things in life, you become a light. This is Drishtapalam. Why it's called a palam? Because people expect it. Because I do karma because I want to get Indralogam, Swargalogam, Punyam. But when you do Vaidika karma without this material benefit, you look for your tejas to come up. Let me be a light to others. Why? The tejas comes in, people look at me with reverence. They may listen to my words. They listen to my words, I can give them this. That's the reason why Brahma Varchas is, if you go to all the Veda Padasala, all these young boys and girls and studying the Vedas, you look at them, they look tejasvis, because prachotayat, the brightness comes out. It lights, illumines, because it shows an lingam. Oh, this is Brahmavid. It means he's for that. But if you don't do it, it'll go away. Drishtapalam. Adrishtena swargadhina cha. So, what is adrishtapalam? I get swargam. Adrishta means which I don't see. So I do all the karmas for some prayojanam in this world or some prayojanam elsewhere. Then I'll say, because I get this, I say I am a tuja. I born twice. Aham tujati. Na kanatva, na kuntivat. Kanatva means if you're blind in one eye, it's called kanatva. Na kunitvam. Kuni means that I'm not hunchback. All this I told you about the Veda karmas niyadi. So I can therefore say, look, I got the Tejasvi, I'm doing this for Tejas. I'm born in this lineage of Brahmanas. I'm not deaf, I'm not dumb, I'm not hunchback, my body is good, my sensory organs are good. I can do this demonstration. So you see, Bhagavan says this because in front of him is all those Vaidikas fighting against him. They're saying, look, this is the Upanishad mantra, is Veda mantras, karma mantras. I'm doing it because I am a Brahmin. I got a Upanayanam done. My sensory things are good. I can listen here. I got all this qualification I filled up. But Shankar, they say all these things with what? With a limited understanding of their own self. They are not Atmajnanis. They are just karma adhikaris. They are right. Policeman can say, look, I cannot wear this t-shirt because I'm a policeman. This is what I will wear. This is how I will stand up. He'll say, very good to you. You do for your duty. But I am not a policeman. This you have to understand. So it's not Shankara is fighting against the Vaidika karmas. He's giving them all reverence. But when they start using Upanishad, and then see, when the Upanishad is taken like that as a mantras for rituals, but the rituals got this kind of nearly instructions of who can do, it just goes away from our hands. That's why Upanishads have been not available to anybody else. But who broke this? Not Shankara. Bhagavan Krishna. What did he do? All the Upanishads in the 12 slokas of second chapter. And where did he give it to him? He was not a Brahmin, he was Kshatriya. But Tvaji, he's gone to Upanayanam. He has learned Vedas. Who does he give it to? To another Kshatriya. And where does he give? Not in a holy place, not in a temple, not in a Guru Padasala, in a battlefield, bloody battlefield. Upanishads comes. That is where Upanishads needed. Bhagavan showed this is not mantras for Upacharam. It's a Upadesa mantra. This is Vyakhyanam. This has to be preached. It has to be taught. It belongs to whole humanity. By the way, if you're going to give it to whole humanity, you follow certain Veda karmas, so you follow the lineage, you get yourself Brahma virtuous, you become pure person. Then when you go and teach this to others, your words will become pure, sanctified. Therefore, you and I don't need to fight, don't need to quarrel, don't need to abuse the Veda Panditas. In fact, we should worship them, make them follow their strict niyamas, we facilitate them. That's the reason why those days we give them food, we give them everything. Dakshina, we give it to them. They're not beggars. They're not employees. They're not coming there to do a Nitya Karma in your house and you give them money because you come there and do, this day we think, a Prohit comes in, we compare to a plumber. I pay plumber 100 pounds an hour. This Prohit asked me 200 pounds an hour. No. I'll negotiate. It's a sin. He may be doing his job, but the purpose is that he will not earn money. He will only do this Veda Dhyanam for our benefit. Because if he does it and he becomes Brahma Varchas, then he will learn the Upanishad. For him, the knowledge will come much more easily because he followed through this one. Then he has got an obligation like Bhagavan Krishna, like Ramanuja, like Shankara, stand up on the temple, on the tower, shout Upanishad. Ramanuja was Jnani, Brahmajnani, and his guru said, don't teach the mantra to anybody else. You must teach only to the Brahmins, to those scholars, to Vaidika karmas. He said, no, I will teach to anybody else. So this is how you should approach Vedanta. Vedanta is universal, but it is no quarrel with Veda karmas. Tasmadete mantraha atmanaha yadatnya prakashanecha atma vishayam swabhavikam ajnanam nivatyantaha. So he concludes now. Therefore, these mantras, which are different from those rituals, which reveal the Atma. What is being revealed the Atma means what? Swabhavika Darsana means Swarupa Lakshanam. Your luster comes in. The light comes in. Where is the darkness? So all this shokam gone. The duality is gone. I am free. Shoka mokhadi samsara dharma vichidi sadhanam atma ekatvad vijnanam utpateti. It's beautiful. Therefore, what he says that here, because of this, shokam, mokam go away. Shokam is what? Shokam is ragadvesham. What is ragadvesham? I like, I dislike. Why ragadvesham comes in? Because somebody else other than you compete for what you have. Is it not? Because there is something else, somebody else, you have like and dislike. Something else, somebody else means there is a duality. Therefore, dvaidam is samsara karanam. Samsara is dukkham. Dukkham comes because of moham. Moham is delusion. Oh, if I don't do it, No, I smiled, he didn't smile. Something wrong. I get angry. Angry is not given by you. Angry is come from me. Why? I had a delusion. You didn't smile because of you didn't like me. It's a delusion I had. So dukkham. Shogam, mogam is therefore samsaram. And that is gone. Gone because of what? Idam purnam. I am complete. There's no difference from me. Purnam can be only one thing. Idam purnam, ataka purnam, atam itam same. Ataka itam same. So jiva shraikim comes in. Therefore, your samsara nivritti comes through. Iti eva mukta adhikari abhidheya sambandha prayojanam mantran sankshepa vyakhyashamah. So iti eva mukta adhikari. So if you understand all this you get adhikaratvam. Abhideya sambandha. See, whenever you a lecture is given, 4 characters are shown. What is being told, and what is the quality for reading this? What is the sambandham? What is the relationship between what is told and how it is told? What is the prayojan? So by this bhashyam, simple 2-paragraph bhashyam, it has been told this is about the Atma Jnana Prakasham. The Atma Jnana Prakasham removes the samsaram. Adhikari is everybody else, but you must have the pure mind, vivekam, mokshutvam, all this you need. The prayojanam is jivan mukti. Now, having got this understanding, mantram sankshepa. Sankshepa means summary or explanation, elucidation. Vyakhyasya. Now we dwell into this mantra. So this is how Bhagavan Shankara finishes the Bhashyam, the preface for Bhashyam. It's called a Sambandha Bhashyam or preface simply. Now we go to the Mantra Bhashyam. So I am not going to go to Mantra Bhashyam word by word to simplify. I'm going to make it as easy. We complete it today. So next class, we get into the mantram proper, first mantram. So we stop it here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam.
Purnat Purnamudashyate.
Purnat Purnamudashyate.
Purnasya Purnamadaya.
Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnameva Vasishyate.
Purnamevavasishyate.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Tatsat. Thank you.
Thank you, Raja.
Thank you so much, Raja sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey Ramesh, how are you?
Good.
Thank